Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Doctor, someone we all need when the time is right, but there are so many different kinds of doctors. There have been so many memorable ones throughout movies, TV, books and games through the years. Some to sweep us off our feet, some to try and take over the world, and some who are just there to do their job. Is there a doctor in the house? No, it's Neil with 10 fascinating fictional doctors facts. Over to you, Dr. Neil.
Thank you very much, Pav. So what I thought we'd find out today is famous or celebrities that were originally doctors before they went into the profession of acting or entertaining. So here we go. We've got Ken Jeong from the Hangover series was originally a doctor before he became a comedian. The director, George Miller.
Nice shoot.
We've got the director, George Miller of the Mad Max fame. He was originally a doctor.
Nice shooting, Tex.
And the late author, Michael Crichton. He was a doctor, don't you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present Man Not Caring.
And then we've got the late Graham Chapman from the Monty Python fame. He was training to be a doctor. Great Scott. And then we've got Che Guevara. While training to be a doctor is when he made the life-changing journey that changed Latin America.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present Man Not Caring.
And then we've got Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes and such great novels as those. He was a doctor, don't you know? Great Scott. And this will be for our UK listeners. The comedian Harry Hill was a doctor before he went into comedy.
Hi, everybody.
And then Lisa Kudrow from Friends was training to be a psychobiologist. There we are.
Wow.
$100 billion.
And then we've got Tina Turner. While not a doctor, she was a nurse in the healthcare before becoming one of the biggest singers in the world.
Hi, everybody.
And lastly, Anton Chekhov, the famous playwright. He was a doctor.
$100 billion.
And of course, he was a member of the Star Trek Enterprise as well, wasn't he? Wasn't he?
That's the same one, yeah.
Oh,
That'll do.
like that.
That'll do.
There we go. So yes, it's a wide-ranging subject we've got this week, ladies and gentlemen. Fictional doctors. It could be all kinds. Who knows? And joining us is one of our lovely Patreon subscribers. Hello, Donald. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Very well.
we're all right. You know,
Very well.
COVID is still going round and nipping at our ass, and other things are happening. But you know, we get a chance to chat to some lovely people like you. So let's forget about it for an hour or so, and let's just talk about. I was going to say let's forget about it, and we're going to talk about doctors. So I mean, we're sort of
Yeah, but fictional doctors. So...
fictional doctors. And it wasn't until I started trying to work out my top 10 that I realized just how many different kinds of doctors there have been. So did you have a trouble getting your top 10 together, Donald?
No, I originally had a list of like 50 or so and then whittled it down.
Yeah, that's how it normally works. That's how it normally works.
It was such a far-ranging subject. I found it quite tricky at first because I was looking at fictional doctors and the list goes on and on. And I thought, oh, that's a good one. Oh, get rid of that. So it was a tricky one. I know we say it every week nearly, but this really was. There was a lot to choose from, more than you probably would think.
Yeah, I whittled mine down by only like stuff I knew about personally, like shows I've watched, and only one per franchise.
Right.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Well, we're going to go straight in. So, Donald, give us your number 10 fictional doctor.
My number 10 is Dr. Michaela Quinn from Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Oh,
Oh, is that Jane Seymour, if I remember?
That
right?
is Jane Seymour,
Oh,
yes.
Lovely Jane Seymour.
Now, what was that? Was that 90s, 80s, 90s TV show?
Probably both, wasn't it?
Early 90s, late 80s, somewhere around there.
90s, yeah. I can't remember much about that show, apart from the fact there was a really buff bloke that had like long hair. Was he like a tracker?
Sully. Billy
Right.
Bear, Joe Lando.
Joe Lando, right. No, any relation to Martin Lando?
I have no clue.
If only there was some kind of interweb that I could look that information up, which I will look up now while Neil carries on and chats a little bit.
Yeah. So are you still a big fan of this show? Is it because it's not something that's repeated here in the UK anymore? Well, it might be on one of the far-fetched satellite channels, but
I don't really think it's really shown much even here in the States anymore. Maybe on like something like a Nick or Night or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because I can't remember it that well, but I was a big fan of Jane
I remember watching it all the time when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah,
Jane Seymour was definitely something nice to look at, and not being sexist at all.
No,
I'm just trying to say that she was a very.
Let's be honest. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman.
She was a beautiful woman. Yes, he's no relation to Martin Lando, because it's spelt the same as Lando Calrissian. It's L-A-N-D-O.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, still a good-looking bloke as well. There you go. Look, he he hasn't been in much since by the looks of it. But you know, can't have it all, can you? You can't be good-looking and. Oh, 2020. Oh no, saying that, he's got 3 upcoming projects. So he's look at that. He's
well done.
So we're gone then, Neil. You're number 10 then, please.
So it's Dr. John Watson now from Sherlock Holmes, but I'm gonna single out Martin Freeman's portrayal of Watson. Although I'm not always the biggest advocate of Martin Freeman himself, and I'm not, you know, I can give or take some of his performances. I do like him as Watson, so I will put him in that role. But ultimately, he's probably one of the best sidekicks, isn't he? He's there for Holmes. He helps Holmes a lot in a lot of. I mean, have either of you read the books of Sherlock Holmes?
Not so much, but I've seen the Robert Downey Jr. movies. I've seen a couple of episodes of Sherlock.
So he's he is the wingman.
That's one thing I know that I would probably enjoy the TV series Sherlock with, but I've never sat. I think I've watched the first 2 episodes and that was it. I just didn't watch any more.
It was must-watch TV. I thought it was fantastic. Everybody involved, even Una Stubbs.
What's wrong with Una Stubbs?
No, I said even Una Stubbs was fantastic in it. Everybody was fantastic. No. I'm just saying. Just giving her a shout out that she deserves. Aunt Sally there.
Oh, bless her. See,
but yeah, Dr. John
John's
Watson.
not going to know what the hell we're talking about here with Una Stubbs and Aunt Sally. You got to remember, Neil, we're transatlantic now.
Oh,
we
yes.
have to remember.
But also, it will be quite fun that Don looks up Aunt Sally and Una Stubbs and then gets scarred.
And then still go, what the fuck is this all about? I don't understand what's going on. It's not going to make it any clearer for him.
It's one of those great rabbit holes that you can go down.
Yeah, there's something Wurzel Gummidge for you, Donald. You can go and explore Wurzel Gummidge when we finish chatting. How about that?
And tell me it doesn't creep you out.
Yeah.
And make sure it's the original Wurzel Gummidge from the 70s into the 80s, not the remake. All right.
Yeah, giving the poor man loads of work to do. That's not what we're here for, Donald. I'm sorry about that.
Might make him into the biggest Wurzel Gummidge fan. He comes back on top 10 Wurzel Gummidge moments.
Yeah, we could do that. My number 10, you've already heard him today.
Hi, everybody.
It's Dr. Nick from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
great.
I
had thought about him.
Yeah, there was a choice between him and I can't remember the name of the other doctor.
Hibbard,
that's right.
Yeah.
With the laugh. Okay. Well, I don't know who was closest then, Neil.
Yeah.
But Dr. Nick always comes in at the right time. He's very janky. I don't think he is actually a doctor, so he may not be really allowed on my list. But anything that's going to be to do with The Simpsons is going to be worth being in a top 10. So you have to have a top 10 doctor from The Simpsons in the top 10. So he is in my top 10. And can I say top 10 anymore in a sentence? I don't think so.
You could try.
That's my top 10. Okay. Don, your number 9, please.
Number 9 is Dr. Hawkeye Pierce from MASH.
Oh, brilliant
okay.
choice. Yeah, I did think about this myself, but over to you, Don.
Played by Alan Alda. And MASH takes place during the Korean War. The show back in the 70s, was it?
It
Think
was,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. It's still played regularly on a few channels up here in the States.
Yeah. That's I didn't put any. Who was the other one? What was the name of the other doctor that didn't he have his own like spin-off show?
Trapper John.
Trapper John, that's it.
Yeah, Trapper John MD.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, am I right in saying that it wasn't Alan Alda in the movie, was it?
No, it was Donald Sutherland.
It was,
Right,
yeah.
that's right. And who else was it? It was Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould, wasn't it, in the movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
directed by Robert Altman, wasn't it?
That was
As well. MASH, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the TV series, the movie. Sorry.
Do they still show that on British TV?
Yeah, it's all they've sometimes show it on the comedy channel. You know that we've got is it Sky Comedy or whatever it is, whatever. And I've watched a few now and then, but it's still repeated. I mean, I don't think it's as regular as they've got it over there where Don is, but yeah, it's still on. It's a bit like Dad's Army here. You'll catch it somewhere.
Right. There's another one for you, Don.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one.
You must have heard of that one.
Wonderful. Because it always used to confuse me because like sometimes you'd watch MASH and there was like canned laughter, and then sometimes you'd watch it and it was like there was no laughter at all. So was there a specific series where they had canned laughter, Don? Do you know?
I don't know a lot about the behind the scenes on that.
No, it just always confused me because I thought, what is it supposed to be? Film before a live studio one? I don't think it should be. They're ferrying people out into the jungles of Korea just to watch half an hour of comedy. I don't know. They might have done.
You never know in Hollywood. You never know.
You never know. Were you a fan, Neil?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Sometimes I think it passed me, if you know what I mean, because of my age when it was first shown. I'd watch it and I was always hoping to get a glimpse of something that maybe I shouldn't be watching, and I never did, which was always a disappointment. And some of the jokes I didn't get. I can remember watching it with my dad and him laughing. I'd be looking at him going. But yeah, I sit and watch it now. I do like the movie. The movie is fantastic.
I can't say I've ever watched the movie.
Oh, really?
I was only the TV series.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
You're a fan of the movie as well, Don?
Not so much as the series because I grew up watching the series with
Right.
my parents. My dad basically raised me on humor like that, and Monty Python and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
just classic comedy. And obviously I think the finale was one of, if not the most watched TV programs.
For a long time, it held the record. I do believe it has been broken by now.
Oh, right. Okay. I did actually watch it because I think they've got the full episode on YouTube.
Have they?
The final episode.
Oh, yeah.
And considering I wasn't really invested in the characters, it was quite a tearjerker just watching it.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Really, really good. Really, really good. Okay, Neil, you're number 9, please.
So it's Dr. Charles Xavier, Mr. Patrick Stewart and his domed head, buzzing around in his wheelchair and reading everybody's mind. But what a performance he actually gives. Let's not forget, it's a great performance by Patrick Stewart. He really brings life into it. And I think it's his best performance as Xavier is Logan.
Absolutely, I was going to say.
It's a phenomenal performance. And I'm going to go back and say it's a phenomenal film, and how it was overlooked in certain categories and everything. There should have been some nods in there because it was fucking fantastic. It really was. And Patrick Stewart was as well. I mean, I probably, if Patrick Stewart hadn't played him, I don't know who else could have, really.
No, then you've also got the younger version there, played by James McAvoy.
Yeah. But I still don't think he's quite as good as Patrick Stewart. I mean, he tries to bring elements of it, but Patrick Stewart is such a great actor, isn't he? You can tell he's classically trained and everything, but yeah, and he's a great role, isn't it? He's like the daddy of the he is, isn't he? The headmaster of the school. He brings
Yep.
everybody together and looks after them all.
And
So
he's going to be
why not?
playing him again one more
Yep.
time, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah,
in
when they
Doctor
bring the X-Men into the MCU.
Yeah. So it's he hasn't finished yet, and everyone
No,
thought that
good. Because I
the
can't
Logan
picture
episode
anybody
was-
else
Eh?
playing him. I can't picture anyone else playing him. That's the problem I have.
But don't you find that with a lot of them now? Is like you can't see anybody else playing
Right.
Wolverine apart from Hugh Jackman, or you can't see anybody playing Deadpool apart from
Ryan
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. So
Yeah.
I think once they have got the, but if it had been somebody else, you'd say the same thing.
Possibly, but
You know.
I've tried.
Yeah.
Well, we played this game before on our radio show where we tried to recast it with other people. Haven't
That's
we? I'm
right.
sure. So we always struggled on that one.
Mm.
So yeah.
Indeed. Okay, my number 9 is a historical figure. So here's somebody that was real, but it was in the movie Tombstone. It's Doc Holliday, played by
Yeah.
Val Kilmer. Now, Tombstone
Okay.
for me is one of the greatest. We're gonna have to do a top 10 westerns, Neil. I think,
Yeah.
because Tombstone for me is I don't believe it's particularly historically accurate.
No, I don't believe
No,
it. It's
no.
well filmed, isn't it?
But
That's
as
it.
an action western movie that's full of revenge and things like that, it's fantastic. And Doc Holliday, the way that he goes from being this cocky little glint in his eye, ready to kill people, to just being, because he's I can't remember what he had. Was it tuberculosis, maybe?
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
He becomes this really sort of weak and pathetic figure at the end of it, and well, spoilers. When he dies, spoilers. I think it's a fantastic performance. It really is.
Yeah, it's a great movie as well.
Yeah,
isn't it?
relationship with Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp is beautiful. It's really, really nice.
And dare I say it, probably Val Kilmer's best performance.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I would be up there with you. Yeah, saying that. Yeah.
That or Batman Forever.
Or Willow.
Or Willow.
Oh, that's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
Mm.
Right then, Don, your number 8, please.
My number 8, probably gonna be. I'll make you over you guys' head. It's from an anime called Zoids. It's Dr. D
Dr. D.
from Zoids.
From Zoids, okay.
Never
Explain
heard of this.
explain
Yeah.
what Zoids is, and explain
Sell
who
it to
Dr.
us.
D is.
Zoids are giant mechanical creatures that people pilot, and in some seasons they went to war with them. Some seasons they did like almost competition fighting with them. But Dr. D was in the first 2 seasons, where it was started out as a war, and then the second season was about protecting from returning to war from this underground group. But he is introduced as this kind of mad doctor who's trying to create snow in an area that has never seen snow. And then he goes on to figure out that this one character is from an ancient civilization, and he continues to grow and grow. In the second season, he is integral to the plot because he is the character who creates the only weapon that can basically save the world.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. I
It's
just
quite
had a
an
little look at
important
him.
doctor.
Yeah, I just had a
Yeah.
little look at Dr. D. He looks a little bit like Charles Xavier, but he's got like hair, like ponytails, or pigtails coming down
Yeah.
Okay.
down the side, and a little bit of hair on the back. But
Now, is this like aimed towards kids, or is it like a universal sort of cartoon, or like a lot of anime, you need to be grown up or adult to be watching it?
I'd say around 10 and up
Right.
could
Okay.
watch it, because there's nothing really too bad about it. The American version, the American dubs, they don't show any blood.
Right.
There's some in the Japanese, but yeah. And otherwise, there's no real adult themes other than the war and all that.
Mm. Are you a big anime fan, Don?
Moderate.
Right. Because I don't mind some. I've watched some, like Akira and things like that. And
Oh God, Akira.
yeah, I enjoy
There's
Akira.
There's a little traumatizing moments in that.
Yeah. No, there is, and that's definitely adult based. But some of the ones that I've seen that people have tried to lend me, and I haven't been able to watch it all. It's holy fuck! What the hell is going on? Obviously, this is where all this tentacle porn and all this shit
Oh,
is from. And I'm thinking, what am I watching? Literally,
You're watching
I don't
tentacle
know
porn, Neil. That's what you're
Well,
watching.
Have you ever watched some of these anime, Pal?
I haven't. No, the only
top
one that I
end.
sort of dipped my toe in was on Disney Plus. They did a Star Wars Visions,
That's right.
which was like Star Wars anime, which was beautiful to watch. It's really really good. So
I'm not sure many people would classify it anime because it didn't come from Japan, but
right. I think it was made by like Japanese directors, but you might be right. I don't want to get Star Wars fans and anime fans on my back by saying that. But I think it was in that style. Do you know what I mean? It was in that style of
It certainly
anime.
was. Yeah.
Zoids Wild is on Netflix over here, so we can check
Have a
that
look.
out.
yeah, that's like the newer one. That's
Right.
very different from any of the previous seasons.
Okay. So, but then again, if that's on there, maybe the older Zoids will be on there as well. I'll be interested to check it out though, because if it's something that I've never really sort of gone into. I'm not going to say anime because, like Don said, it might not be actual anime. I'm going to check first before I say anything.
Have you never watched Akira though?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, right. Oh, that was probably the most mainstream anime here, though, wasn't it? Akira?
Is that tentacle porn? Is it?
No.
No?
But
Okay.
it is very good.
It's a movie also, not a series.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a
right.
proper movie, and it's
Oh,
worth
right, okay.
checking out. And it's well done with the English version. You don't have to watch it subtitled.
Oh, right.
It's
Okay.
been done really well.
All right. Okay. Give that a try. Go on then, Neil. You're number 8.
So, a doctor who has a hearty appetite, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Yes. I'm going to put Anthony Hopkins because he's the most iconic version, but we must give a shout out to Brian Cox as well, who was as creepy as fucking Manhunter as Hannibal Lecter, but also the book version of him. I love the book version of him more than the movie version because he's sort of the chap that you think one breath you think I'd love to have a conversation with somebody like that because of the intelligence, and then you realize I wouldn't want to be anywhere near him. And I just think what a great invention by Thomas Harris. He's such a great, and I'm going to use the I word. He is an iconic movie villain.
Yeah.
There was also a series here years ago in the States called Hannibal.
Oh yeah, we had
It's
it
like
over
they have a
here as
younger
well.
one.
Mm.
Yeah. I forget who played him.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Was it Mads?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. It's one of the goriest TV series I think I've ever seen.
I remember Lawrence Fishburne was in it as well.
That's right.
Yeah, and I've never watched an episode of that either.
Oh, it's good.
I
It is
never
I
have.
watched the first couple of episodes, and then another series that I really loved started taking the spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Did it follow any of the books, Neil, or was it just
Not
an
particularly. I mean,
independent
I
kind of-
think it had some remnants when he did when Thomas Harris wrote Hannibal Rising, which was about younger Hannibal. It's taken stuff out of that, but obviously
Right.
elaborated, made bigger. And it's
Well, that was a
obviously-
movie as well, wasn't it?
It was, but not a very good one. Sorry.
No. And the gentleman that played Hannibal there died not long ago in a car
Oh,
crash.
did he?
He did,
Who's
yeah.
that?
Oh.
He was also. Have you been watching Moon Knight, Neil?
Not yet. Not
Right.
yet.
He's
You know
because
me. I bolt.
that guy is in episode 3 of Moon Knight as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which they dedicated that episode to
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
But also, what makes Hannibal the TV series great to watch is Mads Mikkelsen. He's
Right.
so. I find him sort of. I can't take my eyes off the screen when he's on.
Yeah, he's
Do
a
you know what I
very
mean?
good-
He's just amazing bloke.
Very good actor, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 8 is, again, I had a choice of 2 because there are 2 doctors, as far as I know, in the Muppets. I could have had Dr. Teeth. But I didn't. I went for Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. mainly because of his sidekick Beaker. Yeah, if you have Bunsen Honeydew, you have to have Beaker.
Exactly.
We've spoken quite a few times about the Muppets on various top 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And what it was, the Swedish Chef and Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker were the two people that I would wait for every week when I used to watch it when I was a kid, hoping that they were going to be in it, because Beaker, I think, is fantastic. If we ever do a top 10 sidekicks, he'd have to be in my top 10
for sure.
for sidekicks, and they're
For
just
sure.
fantastic. Dr. Bunsen Honeydew doing whatever he could, doing some kind of experiment, and Beaker would either get blown up or set on fire or something.
Damaged in some way.
It'd have to be something. You know, he'd lose a limb or something. And that was what kids liked watching in the 70s.
Of course they did, and we all grew up fine, didn't we?
Yeah, we all grew up absolutely fine. Yeah, no mental issues at all. Okay. Don, you're number 7 then, please.
My number 7 is Dr. Rumack from Airplane.
Okay.
Leslie Nielsen's character.
Is that what his name is? I would never have known that. I would never have known that. Oh my God, I should have had him in my top 10. I should have had him in my top 10. I didn't think about that one. Well done, Don. Well done. What can you say about that? I mean, that is one of the greatest comedy characters ever.
And that was his first comedy role, was that character.
I know. I mean, we've spoken about Airplane before, haven't we, Neil? It's for me.
I watched it the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
It is one of the
I'll
greatest.
talk about him later.
Okay. It is one of the greatest comedy movies of all time, without
comedy characters.
And comedy characters,
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Airplane 2?
I actually really find it funny. I don't think it's a patch on the original. But
it's not as good as the original, but it has its merits.
Yeah, I love the fact that William Shatner is taking the piss out of himself so much. I think that's fantastic. There's some really, really good jokes in there. It's like
Chuck Connors.
Yeah.
The jokes with Chuck Connors really, really land well.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and I mean, it's the blueprint for every movie like that. Hot Shots and Top. I mean, see, I hadn't watched Top Secret for ages, and I ended up watching it, I think, about a year ago.
It's hilarious,
and really enjoyed it. It's such an underrated comedy movie.
It is.
Val Kilmer again.
But I watch a lot of these reaction channels on YouTube.
Yeah.
And when they watch Airplane, I've only seen one person get this one joke. That's when Captain Over goes to the white courtesy phone, and he gets the second call. Hold the mayo, put ham on 5 and hold the mayo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only heard one person actually laugh at that joke.
Oh, right. That's one of those movies, though, that I could probably still watch it again now after watching it, 50 times, and still find something in the background that I didn't catch the last time.
It's bloody hilarious.
It's so good. So good. That is a great one, Don. Well done. You snuck that one in there under my nose. I didn't see that one. Obviously, Neil did, but I didn't. Go on then, Neil. You're number 7.
So I'm just going to put him as a character rather than a particular one. Is Doctor Who. I'm a fan. I lost love of Doctor Who. Excuse me, in the 80s a bit when it became very tacky, and not that it was much better in the 70s, but I was a fan, and I'm a fan of the character. I love the premise of it. How they're working it now, I don't know, because he could only regenerate, I think it was like 13 times, and we're on our 15th Doctor now. So
they have retconned a lot.
They have. And I have to say, Jodie Whittaker, I thought, was a great Doctor, and it was brave to bring a woman in. I thought it was brilliant. Alas, the story writing was pants. I don't know why they did that.
The story is just, for her first season, just didn't really grab me.
No, they were boring, Don. Let's be honest, they were boring.
But I mean, I haven't watched the second season, but I know the ultimate end plot kind of got spoiled for me.
Right.
And it's a retcon that explains better as to how these so many regenerations.
Okay. Or I'll have to watch the second series with her and give it a go. But I
Because
think
it's
Russell.
master comes back and reveals it to her.
Oh, okay. I might have to watch that series then. But yeah, I'm a big fan of what Russell T Davies did to turn it around and make it more accessible to more people.
And he's coming back.
Yes,
Yes.
he's coming back, which is exciting because I think Russell T Davies is such a great writer. Did you ever watch? I know it's completely off topic, but Queer as Folk.
No.
I would highly recommend watching that. It's brilliant, and It's a Sin, which was recent. That was very good. That was Russell T Davies, and that's fantastic. If you haven't, anybody listening to this hasn't watched Queer as Folk, it's a very young Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy in it. He's almost unrecognizable from it, and it's fantastic. But be liberal when you watch it. That's all I'll say.
Oh God, has it got tentacle porn in it, Neil?
No, but it's quite explicit.
Porn.
It's quite explicit. It's quite explicit.
Yeah, I was done on Doctor Who after David Tennant. I couldn't get into the Matt Smith Doctor Who, and then
I started really watching it during Matt Smith.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I like Matt Smith a lot.
So, but I've also, my dad swears by Tom Baker.
That's
Absolutely.
our Doctor, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I've gone back and watched Chris. I've watched David. Peter was great.
I think Peter Capaldi was fantastic, and he had some of the best episodes of the new series overall. And I think he should have been given a longer tenure as the Doctor.
Yeah,
he was perfect.
Maybe need to watch, because I love Peter Capaldi, but I never watched a single episode of his.
And Ben Wheatley directed a few of the episodes of the Peter Capaldi ones. And he's a great director.
All right.
Yeah.
Ben Wheatley.
I don't know. Neil Gaiman wrote, actually. Yeah, Neil Gaiman.
Oh, we've lost your sound.
Donald, you gone on mute. Donald, you're on mute. Can you hear us? That's better.
There we go.
I was getting a phone call.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
I don't know if you heard anything I said.
No, we didn't. Say it again.
No.
You said about Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman wrote one Matt Smith episode. I know that for a fact. It was The Nightmare in Silver.
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
He wrote another one I think was a David Tennant episode.
Oh, right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think, was it Neil Gaiman that did the Girl in the Fireplace?
Was that
I
one?
might be wrong. It might something. But yes, Ben Wheatley, he directed Kill List. Mark Kempner's a friend with him, a friend of ours who was in a few of his films. He's doing the Meg 2, isn't he? I believe now.
Yeah, that's
There
very
is a sequel
strange.
to that?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
But I suppose it comes because he was going to do the Tomb Raider, wasn't he? And then he had to drop out, and then he's doing the Meg 2. But I suppose the money's there, isn't it? And if he's given freedom. But yes, I'd highly recommend Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who, Pav. He's great. Absolutely.
I will give it a go, definitely. Yeah, because I think it's it's weird. I just couldn't get back into Doctor Who after that. It's very strange.
Yeah, but in this country, you only have to bring up Doctor Who, don't you? And you're, what a nerd.
Yeah, I know. That's just how it is, isn't it? That's how it is.
Same here.
Yeah. Right, my number 7 is, we heard him earlier on.
$100 billion.
Dr. Evil.
That's my number 4, Pav.
Is that your number 4, is it? Yeah, I haven't watched the Austin Powers movies for a while, and I'm wondering whether they still hold up, whether they're still.
I think they really do.
Yeah,
I think they do. I watched all 3 literally back to back, maybe 3 weeks ago. They were on, each night.
Yeah.
And the Spy Shackney, I think, is the best by far.
Right.
By far, roared with it.
Yeah, I must watch them again. But I think as a doctor, I think he's got to be in a top 10 of fictional doctors. Go on, Dom.
Now, I don't know how aware you guys are of like American sports events at all, but back in February, the Super Bowl
Yeah.
One of the Super Bowl commercials
Yeah.
brought back Dr. Evil, Scott, just the number of the minions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, Pav. You can watch it.
I'll put that in the video playlist for this episode then, if that's the case. I never saw that. I saw a couple of the Super Bowl adverts, but I didn't see that one. I'm gonna have to watch that one after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, he has to be in there. I just think he's a great comedic performance from Mike Myers. He can be a bit
characters he played.
Yes, but he can be a bit hit and miss for me, Mike Myers. Sometimes he can be really, really funny, and sometimes some of the things that he does just aren't funny at all. And
he's got a new thing coming on Netflix, hasn't he?
Yeah, what was that, Don?
Love Guru.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That wasn't.
Did they really
good.
Make that? Yeah,
that wasn't good at all.
But he's got a new series where his characters on, or is it a movie? I'm not sure. On Netflix coming.
Really?
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I'll have a look while Neil, you give us your. Oh, sorry, Donald, give us your number 6.
My number 6 is Dr. Gregory House.
Ah,
Hugh Laurie.
Yep, Hugh Laurie.
I've never watched an episode of House. I have to admit, I've never.
Really?
Watched. Yeah. Now, is it a comedy or is it like a drama comedy?
It's a medical drama, but it does have its humor.
Yeah, it's got a lot of comedic moments. I haven't watched every episode. I've watched a few, and I've really enjoyed them.
Right, because isn't he just like he's like a really moaning old bastard that just is a good doctor?
They actually kind of explain his backstory, like within the first season, where he was going through. I forget. I don't even remember any of the medical jargon for it, but it was with his leg, and his girlfriend at the time made a decision to save his leg, which ended up basically he's in constant pain, so he's also become a Vicodin addict.
Right. Okay. So that's the reason that he's a moody so-and-so.
Yeah, basically. But
Right.
he also evolves throughout the series. At one point, he ends up in rehab, and Lin-Manuel Miranda shows up in some of those episodes.
Oh, well, I'm going to love it then, aren't I? If he's in it, if he's got anything to do with it, I'm going to love it.
Just a few episodes for that.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to watch it now, Don. How many series is there?
There's only 8 seasons.
Only 8 seasons. And I bet they're an hour each episode, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
More like 50 minutes because of the commercial breaks. Yeah.
And
you gotta saw those commercials.
Is this at the time when like American seasons were like 20 episodes long?
Yeah, but this was also about a few seasons in is also when the writer's strike happened.
Ah, right.
So they kind of shortened up a little bit after that.
Right. I'm going to go on YouTube and see if Man of Recaps has done a house recap thing, so I can just get every season in like 5 minutes. I might do, and then just watch the episodes with Lin-Manuel Miranda in there. Right, the Pentaveret is the new thing that Mike Myers is doing. I think he plays like 4 or 5 different characters.
There is a trailer on that.
There is a trailer. I have seen it, and now that I see that, I've seen that. Right, Neil, you're number 6 then, please.
So, Dr. Everett V. Scott. Can anybody tell me what he's from?
That sounds familiar.
Played by Jonathan Adams, and it's in the Rocky Horror Show. He's the doctor that rocks up at the end, has the great song, Meatloaf's Come to Find Meatloaf's Eddie, but he has what I think was one of the fun songs, and they all join in.
I had Rocky Horror on the outskirts of my list, but I had Dr. Frankenfurter for that.
Oh, he might appear later on. You know. But he's a great character, and especially if you see it on stage. Nicholas Parsons played him, and what they do on the stage, it's him as the narrator, but he also plays Dr. Scott. So, and it works really well. Very funny. And who knew I'd enjoy seeing Nicholas Parsons You'll have to Google him, but he's a UK entertainer, wasn't he? No longer with us. In stockings and suspenders, which was always a bit.
So does the one in the that's the doctor in the wheelchair then?
Yeah.
Does he always have stockings and suspenders on, like in the show?
He does it at the end. So when they do the big
right.
number at the end, he has a little solo sort of
and then
reveals his stocking leg from underneath the blanket of the wheelchair, which is always really funny.
when they did the live version here in America, they had Tim Curry do that role.
Oh, did they?
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Oh, bless
Awesome.
him.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch, that.
But he also has one of the funniest moments in the movie, Dr. Scott, where he arrives crashing through the wall and he sees Janet and Brad. And it's where they flick back and forth to each other. And, Dr. Scott, Janet, Brad, Rocky. And then it starts again and round it goes. Always makes me laugh. Always.
Yeah. We won't do the large-breasted woman story because I think we've done it a couple of episodes. We don't need to go through that again.
No, but I still chuckle to myself.
Of course, so you should.
It's like Melon Bongo. There you go.
I think they're playing at Glastonbury this year. Melon Bongo.
The Melon Bongos.
Yeah. Okay, my number 6 is where was that one?
Great Scott.
Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future, one of the most famous doctors and famous for time travel.
Yeah,
Famous
DeLorean.
for the DeLorean, for the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
What more do you need in a doctor? Someone that can say "Great Scott" and someone that knows what he's talking about. And I don't think I was trying to think of another character that actually looked better when he was older than when he was younger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because even now, I mean, the guy is must be in his 80s. Must be.
Yeah.
He still looks good.
Doesn't he?
Apparently going to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian as well. He's
Okay.
Really?
What,
as Emmett Brown. Yeah.
Rocks up in his
Travels back to a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Yeah.
It travels back in his Mandalorian.
Oh, nice. No, you didn't.
Oh, you dude.
Oh, yeah. I've always said Back to the Future, at least the first one, is a perfect movie. It's one of those movies that they should never remake. And his character is one of those perfect characters. Funny, a little bit mad. It's probably quite mad. If you
I was going to say not a little bit. I think he's quite gone.
But he's a genius. That's the other thing as well. He's
a mad genius.
A mad genius. Which is what good if they're a good person. If they're a mad genius and they're evil, it could be trouble for everyone.
He very nearly got into my list. Very nearly.
I'm surprised he's not in anyone else's list.
No, he was originally, but
he might be. We don't know.
We don't know, do we?
Right then, Don, your number 5, please.
My number 5 is Dr. Mark Green from ER. Played by Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. See, my wife was a massive ER fan, and we all probably know why she was a massive fan, because everybody loved ER for certain reasons.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
George Clooney.
George Clooney, exactly.
Yeah. Who's literally around our way as we're recording this.
Who is?
George Clooney.
He
is in the humble town of Cirencester at the moment.
Why is he?
He is filming his new movie as the director, Men in a Boat, Summer for Canes, and at the South Cerney airfield.
Well, why have you got him there, being a guest on our podcast, for God's sake?
I can't get hold of him. He's the restraining order just will not let me near him.
I don't believe it. What a
He's
bombshell.
genuinely. Somebody told me they saw him in Siren, walking with his wife.
Wow.
Yeah. So
everyone's dumbstruck.
Yeah.
Look. No one can say anything.
But I'm going to admit I missed. I didn't really watch any of it. I was too busy doing other things, I think, when that was on.
And I'd say for a third person to come out of ER, Noah Wiley. He would go on to do the Librarian series.
It's strange. That feels like it. I mean, well, when did that finish? Did that finish in the 90s or in the
Yeah.
2000s?
So it started in the 90s and went into the 2000s.
Right.
Because I know
Well, didn't George Clooney return for like the last episode or something? Because
something like that.
the woman went off and found him by a lake or something, and they got back together, if I remember it right.
Because
I think.
I know that Anthony Edwards' character came back in the 15th season before they officially killed him off.
Right. Goodness me.
But it was
I
all
mean,
a dream.
right, I'm going to have a look and see how many seasons. Because I can remember we used to collect the DVDs of the seasons because my wife used to like collecting them.
Wow. It's a bit like
let's-
CSI where it just went on and on and on, isn't it?
So it started in 1994 and finished in 2009.
Bloody
Yeah,
hell.
that's-
15
15
years.
years.
25 years. 15
Yeah.
years it went on for. That is crazy.
Mm.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Juliana Margulies, Eric
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Lisnau. Yeah, because I think Ewan McGregor was a like a guest star in one of the episodes, wasn't he? 'Cause I think Danny Boyle directed that episode, I think.
All
I mean,
right.
there's so many people who guest starred in that particular series that either before they were famous or just as little bits as cameos. And
I can imagine it going through Ming Na Wen, John Stamos.
there's one episode that I don't know why I will always remember it, but it has Omar Epps in it, who would later go on to be in House.
Right.
And his character ended up was under so much stress. He was a nurse at the hospital, and he threw himself in front of a train.
Wow.
I remember at the end of the episode when they're working on this person, they can't tell who it is by the face because the face is messed up, and then the pager on the body is going off, and then they're yelling for where's this? I can't even remember the character's name, but where's this guy? And then they look at the pager and what code did you call? And that's when they realize who this is.
That's it. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. William H. Macy was a guest. I mean, I mean, imagine Sarah Gilbert. Wow.
Wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Go on then, Neil. You're number 5.
So Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, played by Jack Elam in a great film called The Cannibal Run. The doctor, or is it a vet? We don't know. Who seldom needs more than this.
Just his finger. That's right.
I think is one of the. You would talk about comedy doctors. Everything he does in it is hilarious. I like the way his expressions when he reaches around and with the injection, he keeps drinking it himself and everything. He's got
a wandering eye as well, hasn't he? He's like,
he has.
Yeah.
He's got a touch of the what's Marty Feldman's about him. But it's a great comedy character. I think it's such a funny film, and the younger generations don't seem to be able to get it or watch it now. So I tried to show my son, and he said, "Oh, it's all boring and dated." I said, "Oh God, just go away, go away." It's one of the funniest films out. And my love of it is regaining every day of that, every year. I've managed to track it down. It's a German import on Blu-ray, which plays over here. I couldn't find it anywhere else. And I have to watch it at least once a year. It's bloody hilarious.
He was a big Western actor, wasn't he? He played in loads of like Westerns and that. But he was also in Home Improvement. I didn't realize he was in Home Improvement. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great moment. And like I say, one of the funniest things. I seldom need more than this. When he taps it into Burt Reynolds' nose. Just honestly, I could rewind that moment. It's Burt Reynolds' face, because I don't think he looked very happy that he actually did it. That's what made me laugh.
Very good. My number 5 is Dr. Tobias Funke from Arrested Development, which is played by David Cross. I mean, you still haven't watched it, Neil, have you?
No, I haven't. I'm still
to be honest,
Donald.
neither have I.
No?
Nope.
It's see. I think now you say, Donald, that you're a Monty Python fan. I think you would love Arrested Development. It's so stupid in places, but it's so well written, especially the first few seasons that were on. I think they're all on Netflix now. The ones that were specifically done for Netflix had sort of lost their way a little bit because they couldn't get everybody together at the same time, because everybody that was in it became massive stars. It was very hard to get them all together. But the first couple of seasons there are so many little threads that's running through. And Tobias Funke is the husband of the daughter of the main family, and he wants to be an actor, but he's an actual doctor. He loses his job, but he has all these different things he wants to be. He wants to be part of the Blue Man Group. He wants to be an actor. He wants to be a writer. He wants to be a Hollywood star, and none of it ever works. None of it ever goes right. It's just hilarious. I know it sounds stupid if you say, "Oh, it's hilarious," but watch it. Even go on YouTube and just watch some of his favorite, his best bits. David Cross is fantastic.
But he is in most things as well, though, isn't he? He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, he has this idea that he wants to be a therapist and an analyst together. So he wants to be an alrapist. So he gets a car license plate with an alrapist on it, and obviously when you read it, it says anal rapist on it. It's fucking hilarious, and the police are after him and everything. I just recommend people to watch it. And Arrested Development is one of those real low key things that just is so funny. It's just so.
When I finish Parks and Rec, I'll get onto that.
Get onto it. Okay, Don, your number 4, please.
My number 4 is Dr. Bones McCoy.
Which version, Don? Which version?
Well, DeForest Kelly is the original, of course. And Carl Urban, he's okay, but he can't beat the original.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
He
lived to a grand old age, didn't he? DeForest Kelly, I believe.
Would you like me to find out, Neil, how
if
how
only
old
you had
he
a way
was?
of looking it up.
Let me have a look and see.
But I was just thinking of that the other day. I believe.
I think he died in like 99 or something like around there.
Well done. He died in 1999. Well done, Don.
How old was he? Because
how old do you reckon, Don?
60s, 70s.
It was 79.
Well, he wasn't as old.
Wow.
He wasn't as old as you.
He always
thought.
looked older, though, didn't he?
Well, I think he's one of those guys that just was born looking old, wasn't he? I think he came out looking like an adult. But yeah, I mean, he's legendary. He's a legend. I think, to be fair, we thought of fictional doctors, he was one of the first people that I thought of to put on the list. He never made my top 10, but he's definitely somebody that you think of. Doctor Who, Bones McCoy are the two sort of people you think that aren't medical. Well, I suppose he is a medical doctor, but it's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. That's my Bones McCoy
Dead Jim
impersonation. Thank you very much, everybody.
Although he comes from Somerset.
Somerset, yes.
It's worse than that. He's no cider, Jim.
All right, thank you.
Or a
Neil.
pirate.
There's no need for that, is there? Come on, let me hear your Bones McCoy then. Go on.
It's worse than... I'm going to go straight into pirate, aren't I?
Yeah, he sounds
like...
Sorry. Somebody works with Jack Sparrow, for God's sake. Okay, your number 4 was Dr. Evil, Neil.
It was.
So my number 4 is Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, which is Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly? That's not Gene Kelly. Gene Wilder.
Wow, there you go.
I want to see the Gene Kelly version.
Gene Wilder.
He's dancing all over the place.
Oh God, from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
so Gene Wilder.
Frankenstein.
Sorry, I should have put that as a little note on my notes there, because that was the thing I was thinking of, is Frankenstein. And again, I will put this in the video show notes, the video playlist, but the outtakes from Young Frankenstein, or Frankenstein, whatever, are so
many
funny.
great lines.
So funny.
I would love to have seen the musical when they did that, because they did it like the producers, but it wasn't quite the success they were hoping. When they brought it out on the West End, Ross Noble played Marty Feldman role.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I ain't got nobody.
And putting on the Ritz as well.
I love it. Great film, isn't it?
Great.
Werewolf. Their wolf. Their castle.
I want to watch that now.
It's just great. It is great with Mel Brooks, another one that's like,
Oh yeah.
it's just like hit how
That was his golden era.
You kind of wish that Mel Brooks did more.
Yeah,
he lost his way, I think. After, I mean, Spaceballs was okay.
I love Spaceballs.
I mean, it is funny, but Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Oh, I love that one too.
Did you? It missed me a little bit, those ones. But Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, the producers, just.
Of course, if you really understand how much it was making fun of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, without directly making fun of it.
Yeah. I think I always thought Spaceballs was a little bit later than it should have done. When it came out, it's sort of the whole Star Wars thing had gone a little bit. He should have done it a couple of years.
One funny thing though, my favorite mask that I got during this whole pandemic thing says Spaceballs the face mask.
Really? Very nice.
Merchandising.
Exactly. Right then, your number 3 then, please, Don.
My number 3 is Dr. Mallard from NCIS.
Ooh.
Right.
I've never watched it.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same. You're going to have to explain to us exactly what NCIS is.
NCIS is you could call it a cop procedural, except what it stands for is Naval Criminal Intelligence. I forget what the S is.
Service.
But service
like
could be. But it's basically the Navy's version of what a CSI would be.
Right.
And it's David McCallum that plays him.
Yes, David McCallum.
There you go.
What, him from The Man
Sapphire and Steel. An old British.
Yeah, I went The Man from Uncle. We went Sapphire and Steel.
Yeah, or The Invisible Man. Do you remember The Invisible Man when he used to take his latex mask off?
Yeah, it used to scare me.
That was shocking. That
used to scare me when I was younger.
But yeah, Dr. Mallard, who goes by the nickname of Ducky,
of course,
is the medical examiner for the show.
Right.
He's the one who cuts up the bodies, does the autopsies.
So he gets all the good stuff to do.
Oh, and that's tales he tells.
Oh, I bet.
He's one of these who has a story for everything.
Yeah, so is NCIS one of those shows that like there's NCIS Chicago and NCIS?
Yeah, there's the original, there's LA, there was a New Orleans, but they canceled that one, and there's also currently a Hawaii.
Right, wow. Those programs must be like just licensed to print money because they just seem to keep going and going and going.
The original is still going on.
Yeah. It says here 2003 it started, so
yeah, and it's actually a spin-off of a show called JAG.
I've heard of that. I don't.
Stands for Judge Advocate General. That was on for like 5, maybe 6 seasons before that.
Right. Wow. I'm not going to try and catch up with that one though, Don. No way. I'm going back to 2003, like 20 years ago. Go on then, Neil. Your number 3.
Dr. Frankenfurter, Tim Curry. His version of it, I think, is probably one of the greatest musical characters out there, especially the way he portrays him and sings all the songs. Has the best songs in the musical, probably, and. and looked good in stockings and suspenders. I'm sorry, but it did. And it's sad to think that he fell out of love with the Rocky Horror Show for so long, didn't he? Tim Curry. I mean, obviously, it's sad to see how he is now, and quite upset.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the man was such a good actor. Anyway, he really was.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Is it Empire? No. What's the one he did by where he was the disc jockey? Something Square, Times Square, maybe. And that's a really good movie. Anyway, it's I can't think what it's called now. It's really, but it just proves to you that he didn't have to sing, he didn't have to dance, he didn't have to dress up like a Pennywise or the devil.
And then there's this other cop procedural that was around the States called Criminal Minds.
And he was on that, was he?
He was a villain for a couple of episodes.
Right.
Criminal Minds dealt with was the FBI's behavioral analysis unit. So they looked for the worst of the worst, the sickest of the sick.
Right.
Usually serial killers.
Okay.
And Tim Curry's character was, I think he's nicknamed the Nightman or something like that, but he would take advantage of the rolling blackouts that were going through LA at the time.
Right.
And they didn't even try to pretty him up for this role. They let him be all the natural, rotten teeth, all that.
Oh, he's one of those guys that's very scary. I always thought he was very scary.
Although he played the villain in Loaded Weapon Part 1. Do you remember?
Did he really? I can't remember that.
Do you remember? Do you don't remember Loaded Weapon?
I remember it, but I can't. I could never remember that he was the villain in it. I must admit.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember Loaded Weapon as like the spoof of the
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapons.
That was Samuel L. Jackson and Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
And a cameo by Bruce Willis in it. Very funny cameo. Yeah.
Another Tim Curry villain part was McHale's Navy, the movie with Tom Arnold. That was a suave villain for him, though.
1997. I just saw that one. What was that? So, what year was the one you were talking about, Neil? The
Loaded Weapon.
No. You were saying about the
be early 80s, maybe 1980. He played a late night disc jockey. It's the guy that directed Pump Up the Volume and Empire Records and stuff like that. So it's quite, but his performance as the late night DJ was fantastic.
All right, no, I can't see it. He was Cardinal Richelieu in Three Musketeers.
He was.
Loaded Weapon. Mr. Jigsaw in Loaded Weapon.
Yeah. He famously, when he was dressed up as a Girl Scout, wasn't he? Knocking. He was
a Girl Scout in what?
Yeah, he dressed up as a Girl Scout to knock on the door to the. I can't remember which character it was, whether it was Emilio Estevez or no, it probably been Samuel L. Jackson because Emilio Estevez lived in the caravan,
right?
You know, and did the naked butt shot in the moonlight walk.
Right, that's right. Yeah, yeah, and then Clue as well.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Clue.
It is a really good movie. I hadn't seen it before until
movie.
Yeah, about a year or so ago as well. I really enjoyed it.
But to have seen it back in theaters when you had no clue that there were 3 separate endings.
Yeah.
I bet that must have been fun.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, I can't find that one, Neil. You're going to have to find it.
I will have a look.
Or there'll be people listening now that'll be going, well, it's this one, you absolute idiot. Why can you not know what it is?
I know, it's terrible.
Okay, my number 3. Again, I could have chosen 3 different ones for this one, but I went for the wisecracking, always looking for an angle, Dr. Peter Venkman from the Ghostbusters.
Great choice.
He's the Ghostbuster everybody wants to be. He doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't want to do work. He just wants to make money. He just wants to make money and get laid. That's basically what he wants to do. Have you watched the new Ghostbusters, Don?
No, I haven't yet. I do plan on it at some point because I have seen the first 2. Skipping the woman one because it's not in the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't spoil it for you then, Don. I won't spoil it for you. But I
Times Square. Sorry.
thank you very much, Neil. There you go, rolling in there with the info right on
It was
time.
bugging me. It was really bugging me.
You
I
wouldn't
said
be
it was
able
something square.
you wouldn't been able to sleep tonight if you hadn't.
No, it would have niggled me. Niggled me.
Indeed. But yeah, so for me, Dr. Peter Venkman is the coolest of the Ghostbusters. Oh, there's 4. I know, but then again, Winston Zeddemore wasn't the Doctor, was he?
No, Winston wasn't the Doctor.
No, so that's he's just a guy that just went for the paycheck. So that's my number 3. Don, your number 2, please.
My number 2 is from another cop procedural. Some would say the granddaddy of the modern day ones, from CSI, Dr. Al Robbins.
Okay.
I know of CSI and I know about CSI, but
I know you guys got a version of CSI over your way.
Oh, we have the actual CSI. CSI Vegas and CSI New York and CSI
Miami. And there's Cyber and and I know there was a UK CSI as well.
CSI Little Rock from Arkansas.
But Dr. Al Robbins was the original medical examiner for the show.
Who plays him? Sorry,
I don't remember
Robert
this.
David Hall. I just had a look. Robert David Hall is the guy that plays Al Robbins. I can't say I recognize him. I must admit, but so what is it about? Because my wife watches a load of TV, and she always watches like police dramas and like serial killer TV series and anything to do with murder, and they do amazing like business in America, obviously with CSI and NCIS. And what is it about them? Don't they just tell the same stories?
That's the thing. A lot of times they don't tell the same stories.
Wow.
That's the strange thing.
Don't they have like hundreds of writers each shows? Like literally hundreds.
Yeah. Something like that.
But it's obviously something that works, doesn't it? Because, like I say, you look at NCIS has been going for nearly 20 years. It says
CSI just made a comeback with CSI Vegas.
Right, because they're saying on here
they're starting to get second season soon.
15. So there's obviously loads of people watch them. I mean, is it because it's just easy watching, or
a good escape? Maybe.
Yeah.
They're huge over here as well, though, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they were absolutely huge over here. Tarantino did a couple, and I actually watched those. That was the Grave one, wasn't it? Buried Alive.
Then you look at the one that's the franchise that's been running even longer, Law and Order.
Oh, that's still going, isn't it? Yeah, I know people that love that still to this day.
And they're bringing back the original Law and Order as well, even though the other ones are still going.
Ice-T.
In SVU there, yeah.
So the main lady out of Law and Order, going on to that one, sorry, she's the daughter of her mum's really famous, actually, and
I can't remember. Mariska Hargitay.
Her mum was one of the big Hollywood like legends, wasn't she?
I don't know what's her name.
I don't know.
Mariska Hargitay. I do not know how to spell it.
Mariska Hargitay. Oh, I can't see that. I was just looking on here. So you got Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Law and Order Organized Crime, Law and Order Criminal Intent, then Law and Order UK, Law and Order Los Angeles, Law and Order True Crime, Law and Order Trial by Jury. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But they've obviously successful, because they wouldn't keep doing them, would they?
No, big business.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I am not going to try and work my way through those.
Yeah, and you've only got 2 months to do it.
Okay, that would be physically impossible. Go on then, Neil, your number 2.
At a time.
Yeah.
Now, my number 2 and my number 1, I really struggle which way to put which way round. I didn't know. So I've just done it this way round. It's Dr. Henry Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford, iconic to the T. When we banned that word around.
True Senior?
Name's Henry. I named the dog Indiana.
I have no idea what that was then, Neil. I mean,
Sean Connery.
oh, was it? Okay. All right, if you say so.
But I mean, what's more there? Everybody should know
Right.
who he is now, and everybody should know what he stands for. But he's probably the greatest Doctor movie hero ever to me. As he is the iconic action movie hero, isn't he?
He is. We've spoken about him before.
He's the embodiment of what you would want. And I still think, and we've said it before, and I'll say it again, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect movie. I think it is. Even with these theories that none of it would have mattered whether he got involved or not, I always think to myself, when people bring that out, and I'm just like, fuck off.
It doesn't matter, does it?
Just fuck off. It's a good film, and it's great.
It's a great
Your
film.
theory holds no
Water. Yes.
Yeah, get out of my town.
Okay.
But yes, great. And Pav's not saying much.
No. I shall keep quiet.
But I really struggled between that and my number one. They're both number ones to me. I've got a joint number one. So,
all right then. Okay, my number two is Dr. Archibald Moonlight Graham. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Rings
a bell.
It's from Field of Dreams, played by Burt Lancaster. Field of Dreams, definitely in my top 10 movies of all time. And the more I've watched this movie, Kevin Costner, so many times, where he builds a baseball field in his garden and digs up all the corn because he hears the voice that says, if you build it, he will come. And Archibald Moonlight Graham, played by one of Hollywood's like classic legends. I think he was in his 80s when he played.
Yeah, I think he was, wasn't he?
Burt Lancaster. But it always felt to me like he was acting like he was going to get an Oscar. You know, he had that sort of look about him. It's a magical film. I've always tried to explain this film to people, and it always sounds stupid. You know, this guy builds a baseball field in his back garden, and old ghosts of baseball players come back and play on his back garden. But it's so much more than that as a movie. The music is fantastic. The movie is fantastic. And I'll say Burt Reynolds then. Burt Lancaster.
Burt Reynolds.
All I needed was this. It's a magical movie, and it's a magical performance from Burt Lancaster. Right, before we reveal our number ones...
Just quickly, can I just say, going back to that Marissa Haggerty or whatever her name is, Jay Mansfield was her mum.
Oh,
right.
There you go. Wow. Okay, then. Before we announce our number ones, Donald, could you give us a rundown of your number 10 to number 2, please?
So, number 10, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Number 9 is Dr. Hawkeye Pierce. Number 8 is Dr. D. Number 7, Dr. Rumack. Number 6, Dr. House. 5 is Dr. Green. 4 is Dr. Bones McCoy. Number 3, Dr. Mallard. And number 2, Dr. Robbins.
Excellent. Neil, your 10 to 2, please.
Certainly. At number 10, Dr. John Watson. Number 9, Dr. Charles Xavier. Number 8, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Number 7, Doctor Who. Number 6 is Dr. Everett V. Scott. Number 5 is Dr. Van Helsing. And number 4, Dr. Evil. Number 3, Dr. Frankenfurter. And number 2, Dr. Henry Indiana Jones.
Junior. Mine is number 10 is Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody.
From The Simpsons. Number 9, Doc Holliday from Tombstone. 8, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew from The Muppets. Number 7, Dr. Evil.
$100 billion.
Number 6, Dr. Emmett Brown. Number 5, Dr. Tobias Funke. Number 4, Dr. Frederick Frankenstein. Number 3, Dr. Peter Venkman.
Nice shooting, Tex.
Thank you. And number 2, Dr. Archibald Moonlight Graham from Field of Dreams. Say Phoenix Nights then. So, Donald, what is your number 1 fictional doctor?
My number one is The Doctor.
The Doctor. Doctor Who?
Yes.
Yay! Okay.
So, Don, if we had to pin you down to what incarnation of Doctor Who is your favourite?
It would be a tie between Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
Great choices. Great choices.
And a favourite ever episode?
Oh. It's either the episode where Peter's doctor figures out why he chose that face,
Right. Yeah.
or the first episode that had Maisie Williams in it.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's the same episode. Never mind. So that's that episode.
There you go.
There you go. A lot of the I would say a lot of the finale episodes are great, especially the Peter Capaldi one where he really utilizes his time, and you might even see how Doctor Strange got what he did a little bit from their script.
What do
You know, when they kept going back for years doing the same thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
It's all right. You can spoil it. You know?
Oh, right. It's when it's the series where it's the episode where he's punching to get through that wall.
Oh yeah,
That's a
right
fantastic.
That's from that same season
Yeah, it's a fantastic episode.
where he breaks through. He's on Gallifrey.
That's it.
Okay. All right then.
Great episode.
Okay. So another question then, Donald. What's your favourite Doctor Who villain?
Oh, that's a tough one. Where the Master is always a classic. And then you got the Daleks, the Cybermen. I kind of like the Zygons.
Okay.
The Zygons.
Shape-shifting can become anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the weeping angels were creepy as anything.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
proper freaky. I let my son watch it back when it was first on, and I think I scarred him for life.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, Neil. You don't want to do that. Okay, so there you go. That's Don's number one. Neil, so who was your sort of joint number one?
Dr. Rumat. We spoke about him already. Well, Don did. Leslie Nielsen in probably his best. I still think it's probably his best comedic role. I mean, Frank Drebin is very close, but I think that is so genius. Airplane. I watched it literally this weekend, just gone. It was on our ITV2, and I sat and watched it all. And
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah.
The bit that really made me laugh that I hadn't noticed, I'd forgotten, is the bit when he says they're all on instruments up there, and they're all in the cockpit just playing. But there's so many of those moments. I mean, is it Lloyd Bridges as well? Is bloody hilarious. Looks like I
picked the wrong week to split smoking.
And then it's
all the way up to Huff and Glue.
Yeah, and he comes down upside down.
Yeah,
that's what he. But we can talk about it for ages. People that haven't seen it, I mean, there must be quite a few of the younger generations.
Oh, most definitely.
The experience. I hope it carries on as funny to them as it does to us.
I will say again, some of the people that I've watched, they're like, it would never be able to be made today.
No, that's right. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there are movies in the 90s that wouldn't get away. Well, even the 2000s. You wouldn't be able to make something like Tropic Thunder today, I don't think.
No.
Those kind of movies, you know, so it's. But I do think when you look at it through the vision of its time,
but
it's still one of the greatest.
Airplane has got anything that offensive in it. I mean,
no, but there's things that people would try and find in it that are offensive.
Oh, most definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's just the time that we're in. It doesn't matter whether there is anything offensive. People will look for things that are offensive in it, and probably find it, whether it's just a pair of jiggling breasts that are there for no reason whatsoever.
Well,
someone was
it's when they all panic. And they're all running past the screen. I mean, it's all part of the joke.
Assume crash positions, and they all start getting on the chairs.
It's all
Great
part
stuff.
of the joke.
It's great stuff.
It's probably one of the greatest comedy movies of all time. It's got to be now.
And I think in all 40 episodes that we've done now, there has never been a time where I wish I'd put one particular thing in my top 10 more than the Leslie Nielsen character from Airplane. My number one, Neil, you sort of have mentioned this, although I have got two at number one because I don't think you can separate them. It's Dr. Henry Jones and Dr. Henry Jones Jr. We named the dog Indiana.
Who was that?
That was Bunsen Honeydew. That's who that was. You have to have both of them. They were both doctors, and if you can't, you have to have one. You have to have the other. I mean, you probably could put. Oh God, what was their friend's name? What was their friend's name?
Ravencroft.
No. Denham Elliott's
Denham Elliott's character?
Oh,
God, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Brody.
Was it Brody?
What, Denham Elliott's character? Yeah, Brody, wasn't it? I'm
Chief.
sure.
Why am I thinking of Chief Brody?
That's the wrong movie.
It is the wrong movie. Why? That is crazy that I've forgotten his name. But what was his first name?
I can't remember now. They just called him Brody, didn't they?
That's crazy.
Come on, no.
Then, yeah, it's just Brody. It just says Brody. Okay, yeah.
Didn't you not have a dog named after him?
Who?
You.
We have a dog. Yeah, we have a dog called Indy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you had a dog called Brody, didn't you?
We did have a dog called Brody. Yeah. And when we bought, when we got the little sausage dog that we've got now, I wanted to call him Short Round.
Right.
So we could call him Shorty, but my wife wouldn't have it, so it ended up being called Fred, which is nothing to do with the Indiana Jones franchise at all. Which is
called the dog Fred.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my number one. We've said enough
about
Indiana Jones, but Henry Jones,
around.
and great choices all around. Plenty of stuff to look at, and obviously, if you are part of our Patreon, have a look at the video playlist that we'll put on. What was the one I was going to put on there? What did I say?
The Dr. Evil commercial.
That's it. Dr. Evil commercial. Make a note of that. So that goes on there. Super Bowl. Lovely. Well, there you go. Oh, we've got a couple of honorable mentions. Yes. Lisa Buchanan said, "This may be a stretch and unlikely that your audience will know this show, but we had a series here called Medical Center." Do you remember that one, Don?
Never heard of it.
No. Chad Everett played Dr. Joe Gannon. I think he could have been the original George Clooney. Still makes me swoon. Now, I did have a look at this earlier on, and if you remember Airplane 2, the love interest of Julie Hegarty's character, that was Chad Everett.
Okay.
So he was in a show called Medical Center. So thank you, Lisa, for that one. Last week's guest, Nancy Trickle, said, "I have a huge spot in my heart for the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston. And is amazing and fantastical, and the perfect mix of dark and broken and hopeful." And at this one, Samantha said, "Fave fictional Doctor has to be Dr. Jack Shepherd from Lost. Way too much of our time was wasted watching that show." I'm right there with you. Oh my God.
I gave it seriously.
I never actually watched it, but I've heard so much about it.
Really? Oh my God. We had every box set and we just trawled through it and was so disappointed. A bit like Game of Thrones, so disappointed with the ending. But there you go. You can't have everything, can you? You can't have everything. Right, before we say our goodbyes, Neil, would you like to tell everybody how they can get in touch?
Absolutely. So you can find us on all the social media platforms at Top 10 Pods. Please do give us a click, give us a like and a follow. We'd love to see you. Email us at toptenpods@hotmail.com if you've got any questions. And likewise, if you've got any ideas for a top 10, do please give us a line. And then come help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods, where you can get all sorts of goodies like Donald himself. Here, you could be a guest on the pod yourself. And then do please check out all the links via Linktree. You can find the link in the show notes. And then please come and subscribe. Leave us a rating, a review, wherever you get your podcast from. Come join the fun.
Indeed. And also don't forget the new video playlists that will go along with the episodes if you're a Patreon subscriber of a certain level. As Neil said, Don is one of our very lovely Patreon subscribers, so thank you so much, Don,
You're welcome.
for your patronage. We hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I did.
Good.
Oh.
And you'll
Been
come and
lovely
join
to
us
meet you,
again.
Don.
We'll get another top 10 subject.
Yeah.
Come and join us again for another one. So that's it. We've sorted doctors now, fictional doctors. We've done impersonations. We've realized that George Clooney is just down the road. If I'd have known that, God, we could have had an actual real fictional doctor in the house, couldn't we?
We could have.
Next time.
Yeah. I'll drop him a message. next
Drop
time,
him a
make sure he
message, yeah,
comes.
see if you can. So once again, Donald, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Pav.
Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you soon. And let's go start the countdown.
10, 9.